Flagler's Folly. In 1905, Florida is still largely undeveloped with railroads, but there are resourceful businessmen who can see Florida's potential as a tourist magnet. Take control of the Florida East Coast Railway and build a thriving tourism industry in Florida. Connect Key West to your rail network and create a unique overseas bridge.
There you are. Welcome to sunny Florida. I hope the journey was pleasant. Unfortunately, it can't have been very fast because any significant rail network yet remains to be built. Our client for this assignment is Henry Flagler. He's one of the founders of Standard Oil and works closely with a certain John D. Rockefeller. Here in Florida, however, he sees great potential in tourism and has already written down some tasks for us.
Rise and shine, Florida. Our first 3 tasks are, by June 1906, reach 10,000 citizens in Miami, which they are a settlement at the moment, so not even a city yet. Make 7 different goods available in Jacksonville at the same time, which now they have access to 1, 2, 3, and we could check it right here. They're already at 3. They have access to, or they have a need for corn, which we have corn down here in Miami, or Miami direction, which may make more sense since we have to work on Miami right away anyways. They need meat, which, given that Miami is so close to cattle, we might as well make meat their first production, even though Pensacola already has a meat production and we do get a bonus for connecting them to our rail network. Wool. I don't see wool. Wool is all the way up in, let's just call that Augusta. So wool might take some time, but let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. We're already at 3, so 4. Yeah, we will need to get wool at some point. And given that there aren't any farms in any other direction, we'll definitely have to go towards Augusta sooner than later. All right, so we have Atlanta, who is producing cloth, and then we could just have a rail network coming down here all the way down to Miami. But since we know that we want to get Miami started, we'll just go ahead and purchase the license to operate our business down here. Okay, so since we'll be looking to go 3 directions from this city, we'll probably just go at an angle somewhere as like here. I think that should work. Now when we want to go this way, we could just send 2 lines here, send 2 more lines down here, and send 2 more lines. We could even go express to Miami as we develop. All right, so let's get started. Let's set our next target. Of course, we have the power to, change things around as we develop. At the very least, I want to get to Miami like right now. So I'm going to reset this one all the way back here, since we'll have to go this direction and this direction. So we could make this into a warehouse depot that collects from here and here and then express to Miami through here. Let's try that, shall we? We also have to make sure that we don't encroach on our indigenous population. Very, very important. As you know, Xavileiro is indigenous by the way of the Arawaks of Jamaica. And now we're all set for something beautiful to happen. So a quick recap here. We have Tampa and Miami connected. Miami is not a city yet. It's a settlement. Basically, anybody who settles in this area gets a bonus. And in order for us to acquire that, we have to connect them to logs, wheat, and meat, which gives us another task, and that's to get to Pensacola. But Miami should be able to like produce its own meat, but as it's just a settlement, it doesn't have the infrastructures yet. So we'll have to get to Pensacola ASAP. They need logs, so we'll just go ahead and connect these logs to Jacksonville. We actually have 3 resources right here, so this is like a nice hub if we could get it right. So we might have to split this to come like through the middle, and in order for us to do that, we'll have to make a decision on where we place it, because as you know, in order for us to achieve top speed, we have to ensure that we don't make any tight turns. So we have to go around here, and then we'll also have to split this direction. So this might be the best way. We have to make sure that we have all of them connected. So we're very limited in that regard as well. So we might have to take a long turn, and instead of going directly, we'll just connect through Carter Station right here. That makes the most sense. So as you can see, we could go to that apple or fruit. We could go to Tallahassee, and we could go to Carter Station. I think it makes the most sense for us to just do a little bit of quality of life design from the very beginning. So we'll just go from looking at the terrain. We're in this darker pit, so this will be right here will be the same elevation as here. So we could just set one here and set the other here, maintaining top speed, keeping track of the color of the elevation. We should probably connect it from here, but the idea is that we want to make sure that we start off in the same place so we can end in the same place. I don't like the way the turn looks, but let's not get too or be too nitpicky just yet. Yeah, whatever. So as you can see, we have them separating here because later on we'll just be extending these to the extra tracks in Smith Terminal. That just gives us that preparation for later. Let's set up the track directions. See if we could do that real quick. Let's say top left, bottom right. And then we have to follow on from there. These are the little things though that I believe the game could be improved by having it done automatically, or we have our own AI, you know, almost like Gran Turismo, where you get that ghost, or like Tropical, which Calypso Media also produces, where we have penultimo assisting us. So we could just set up certain things and just quality of life upgrades to the game experience, you know, because this is kind of a mundane task that could be easily like just be automatic. Of course, it takes out of the, the immersion, but let's not be silly here. When we add a line, there's no reason for us to have to also select what direction it turns. It should be pretty obvious. Okay, so there you go. That's our first train. Let's center train and follow it for its first trip. It has a bunch of logs going to Jacksonville. That's how we start our whole empire. It's just a beautiful thing to just observe. And there you go, our first delivery. Now that we've verified that, let's go ahead and set up another train. This one is gonna go to Carter Station, then come back to Jacksonville. Tampa, let's get Tampa. Carter Station, back to Tampa. And let's set up the same train. The old mod, freight only, connected. Florida East Coast Railroad, full steam ahead. Yeah, so Pensacola needs beer. And we'll get to them eventually. But for now, we can only enjoy the cities as we see them because our budget is limited and I don't want to take a loan just yet. It's not necessary. We could just speed the game up and, basically observe these tasks. All right. So now that we have the general idea or infrastructure set up for our railway empire, we could just take a quick moment to make a recap. First, we've connected to the settlement in Miami. In order for it to become a city, it has to get 10,000 people. And in order for it to do that, we have to get these supplies in. They need logs to build buildings, and they need wheat and meat to eat. We've made sure to avoid encroaching on our native relatives, going to this wheat station. Then we're going to Tampa. Tampa is already a city that produces beer. We've set in the station at Tampa a maintenance depot. Then we go to Carter Station for sugar. And then we have a split in the road. One going towards Smith Terminal, which is a hub that we intend to make some kind of warehouse depot. And then we could supply multiple cities from this hub. And the reason why I chose this one is because it has oil, logs, and wheat already. So it's like a mega metropolis. Then we have our Jacksonville starter city. This is where our headquarters is. So as you could see right here, because we have the deluxe edition, we have this beautiful skin on our headquarter building. We kind of have a random or very sudden end on our train line here, but that's because we really have no reason to go directly this way. We'd probably just go like from the front and go up that way, but we don't need that just yet, so we're not worried about it. And we've connected the cities through this beautiful design and modern technology of setting a PI so we could later connect to this city with another 2 more stations, or basically adding more tracks. Okay, so we'll just be connecting these 4 to our, or through Smith Terminal. That's going to be our warehouse, remember. Then we're going to Tallahassee. We're going to Tallahassee because part of our tasks is making sure that we get 120,000 citizens in the North Florida region, which is or includes Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and Pensacola. In order for us to do that, we have to have money. Right now, our money is, we're basically just biding our time to save money and upgrade our systems when they're available, when the funds are available. Then we have Pensacola. We need Pensacola because we need meat from Miami, and that is just a quick reminder as to why we're putting a warehouse in Smith Terminal, because then we're just going to be collecting meat into Smith Terminal and then just supplying it to Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami. Okay? In the interest of time, I'll just skip ahead here so you could see where we're at later.
underestimate how important the completion of this interim goal has been. It proves that we are on the right track with our methods. So far, so good. But that was only the first stage. Mr. Flagler has even more plans for us. Good news. You'll love our next goals. Mr. Flagler wants to connect the Florida Keys. He calls it the Key West Extension. But in the press, it's simply called Flagler's Folly. I would say that if we approach this correctly, it can definitely work. Mr. Flagler has already had some outlandish suggestions for the implementation. But we, of course, don't have to adhere to everything he says.
And now for this next set of tasks in the Flagler's Folly, we have to achieve an express status on a rail line between Montgomery to Miami, which is from right here all the way to here. In order for us to do that, the most efficient way, I think, is creating an express line, a whole train line with a separate station through Jacksonville and following the coast directly to Miami. The next one will be construct an immigration office in Miami, which we won't be able to do until we get Miami to 30,000 population. Should have enough time to have that. After which, we should produce 9 loads of dairy products in Jacksonville via one of your factories. So with Jacksonville, like they chose cloth because I didn't choose for them. So we'll have to just buy this building, delete it, and then place a cheese factory right there. And that will help with that one. The next one will be transport 240 passengers to Key West. So you heard the man. That just means that we have to develop a train station in Key West for the new tourism hub that is planned. I think that's pretty good. It's not cheap. It's 200K, but we need it, so we gotta do it. It also is gonna give us money because it's an express line wherein we're getting passenger and mail carts for those profits. So we'll just leave that until we have the money ready. And then what's the next one? make 11 goods available in Miami at the same time. Currently, only 8 are available. But as you know, most of these don't become available until you reach a certain population size. So first we have to get that immigration office, which is gonna get us to 30K. Then when we get that bonus, we'll get the 35K, which will be 10. And then as soon as we hit 40K, we could also start importing vegetables, which will conquer that one. So let's say if we were to look at it, we would know that the most important one or the hardest ones here are going to be getting the 9 loads of dairy products and achieving an express status on one of our rail lines all the way from Montgomery to Miami.
Extension is a complete success, and we didn't even have to follow Mr. Flagler's crude suggestions. Can you imagine that he seriously wanted to rent inmates as cheap labor from Texas prisons? I'm glad we managed without that form of slavery.
Me too, pal, me too. And this is our first attempt, Montgomery, all the way to Miami, trying to achieve the express line status. It won't be easy, as I'm not even sure if this train will stay supplied all the way. So let's add some supply tires on the route.
length is growing. The biggest problem standing between Florida and a lucrative tourism industry is the lack of infrastructure. If I understand Mr. Flagler correctly, he intends to open his own hotels in all the cities we connect.
Awesome. We're clocking 140 kilometers, boys. And this Flying Scotsman train is like, it's a beast. Awesome, boys. Miami is finally big enough so we can cross off another task. In this case, getting that immigration office in town.
I have to say, I'm beginning to understand what Mr. Flagler sees in Miami. The location is excellent, especially for bringing tourists to Key West.
Yeah. So that's another task completed. We have to get 9 loads of dairy products in Jacksonville by December. Get rid of the weaving mills and add a cheese or a dairy factory. And that's that. Now we have to connect the milk to our Jacksonville station. We have milk up here. We have milk over here. This could just go right into there. We don't really care about the speed for that Montgomery to Miami line anymore, so we don't have to respect that. We could add as we please. Given that we have a 1.7 million, we'll just go ahead and double up the track within reason. As you can see, we did something really drastic here. We cut the line right across the middle. Then we created a second, or built a second station in Jacksonville. And this one is gonna be like, let's say what we try to make expedited. So like that Montgomery one needed to be fast. So this line back here should serve as a, relieve the pressure off the other Jacksonville station.
The production has kicked off well. That's great news. Florida, of course, must not only rely on visitors from other states to generate income.
Welcome to Miami. Now it's just a race against the clock. We have a year to get 11 goods available in Miami at the same time. But I'm seeing that since we're going to be sending these many trains to Miami, that we may have to overhaul Miami one more time.
Continues, Miami will become a real metropolis. The citizens have even offered Mr. Flagler to name the city after him, but so far, he refuses. With that, I can check off another stage. Mr. Flagler is very enthusiastic about you and wants to meet you, but so far, I was able to prevent that. He keeps making suggestions to me that I don't think are ethical. Better to stay away from him. Oh no! I've just received a telegram from Miami. A hurricane has seriously damaged our bridge to Key West. We have to deliver materials to repair it. Just yesterday, the newspapers were calling it the 8th wonder of the world.
And after what seemed like forever, we finally made it to the last stage. Getting 11 different goods available in Miami at the same time took a little bit of a finagle. And now for the next set, we have to deliver 4 loads of tools to Miami because of some hurricane. We then have to achieve express status on a rail line between Charleston and Key West. Much easier said than done. Achieve 4 cities with 75,000 people. That should be doable. And then construct a university in Miami, which requires Miami to be at a population of 90,000. Which they're at 75,000, so we should be able to do that by 1910. We're looking out for these optional tasks. Making 18 different goods available in Miami is going to be a little bit difficult. Construct 4 universities, that should be doable. Produce 9 loads of newspaper in Miami, which is another very hard one. So yeah, that's that. Where should we begin? Delivering the 4 tools in Miami. That we should be able to do relatively quickly. Because we've set up tool production in Tallahassee.
That should be enough material for now to repair the bridge. This really could have become a financial disaster. I'm concerned that Mr. Flagler doesn't want to take any further steps to make the bridge hurricane-proof.
And now we try to achieve an express status on a rail line between Charleston and Key West. Will this be the one? I guess we gonna find out.
The country are traveling to Key West via a repaired track. Oh wow, that already was the final stage. Congratulations! By the way, I haven't been responding to Mr. Flagler's telegrams for a while now. Currently, a couple of his employees are on trial for slavery, so I thought it's best to separate our success from him.
And there you have it. Flagler's Folly. It was very intense. I believe a manager score is a good score to have, considering how difficult it is at times. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, this playthrough of this scenario, and maybe you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tune in for more. Xavileiro out.